Oh Lord, pull up in that '04, pedal to the metal, says she wanna hit the flow more.
We're going to get the good news out of the way first. And the good news is the Braves are going to win their division, the National League East, for the fourth consecutive year. They really are. Now, the bad news, we'll get to the bad news in a minute. All right. First, subscribe to the best coverage of Atlanta sports anywhere right here on Atlanta Sports Unlimited. You don't want to miss it. And you don't want to miss why this is good news. All right. I mean, and I know what you're saying right now. It's tight in the National League East. You got the Mets, you got the Phillies, but don't worry about that. And let's start with the Mets. The Mets are a mess. Say that again. It's like a tongue twister. The Mets are a mess. The Mets are a mess. The Mets are a mess again. All right. I mean, they're even arguing with their own fans. Their GM is out, and they got to bring an executive from up top down to become the GM. They're out of the picture here. All right. The Phillies, the Braves are just better than the Phillies. The Braves are just better than the Mets too, but they're really just better than the Phillies. Braves, Phillies, right? Braves have better pitching, Braves have better hitting, and the Braves certainly have better fielding. I don't think the Phillies have caught a fly ball yet, and that ground ball going through somebody's legs right about now. No competition there. And then just break it down. You look at that hitting thing. I mean, the Braves right now are one of only two teams in the history of Major League Baseball to have 4 infielders with 25 or more home runs. That's astounding. And they're about to have perhaps 4 infielders with 30 or more home runs, and that has never happened. Pitching. They've got just too much starting pitching. Just like the Dodgers. We'll get to the Dodgers in a minute. Anyway, they've got all this starting pitching. They're like 6 in Major League Baseball out of the 30 teams in quality starts. That's very good. I mean, a guy like Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton is like 37 going on 27. The bullpen, which has been the Braves' Achilles heel, still is until proven otherwise. But that being said, they've stabilized there. They had a really good series, that bullpen this past week in Colorado. So that's all good. And they've got a great manager. Brian Snitker is a fantastic manager, fantastic guy. So all good. That's all good there. Let's get to the bad stuff. This past week, Braves played a 7-game road trip in L.A. and in San Diego. No, L.A. and Colorado. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to get to San Diego in a minute. L.A. and Colorado. They finished 2-5. Now that's not the disturbing part. They're not good, but that's not the disturbing. The disturbing part is every one of those games, except for maybe 1 or 2, felt like a playoff game. Looked like a playoff game. And they were 2-5. And in playoff games, you play a lot of close games. And the Braves have played a lot of close games all year. And guess what? Only the White Sox have lost more one-run games this year than the Braves, and you play a lot of close games in the playoffs. Not good. Let's break down this road trip here. Those 5 losses, 4 of the 5 losses were by 1 run. Like a playoff game. And the other one, the first game they played in L.A., that was by 2 runs. Like a playoff game. All right? Little things decide playoff games. And the game against Colorado, you had Eddie Rosario. Late in the innings, he's at second base. The Braves need runs and the worst of the way, and he tries to steal third base. He probably was safe, but he was called out, which is the only thing that matters here. And you can't do that in a postseason game. They get little things like that, okay? But here's the big thing. The Braves still can't beat the Dodgers. And in order for the Braves to make it to the World Series for the first time since 1999, they're going to have to beat the Dodgers, and good luck with that. All right, coming into this year, if you exclude last season because of the pandemic, get this. The Dodgers hold a 27-12 record against the Braves in the 6 previous seasons prior to the pandemic. 27-12 is pretty bad. Now that doesn't even count the postseason. In the postseason, the last three times that the Braves have played the Dodgers in the postseason, let's just say the Braves did not win. And that included last postseason when the Braves in the National League Championship Series led the Dodgers 3-1 in the best-of-7 series and didn't win the series. They lost in Game 7, the Braves did. They can't beat the Dodgers. Now, I know what you're saying. Earlier this year in Truist Park, 3-game series, the Braves took 2 out of 3. That was good, okay? But this past week at Dodger Stadium, they got swept in 3 games. Not good, okay? Because this is when it starts to count. They don't see the Dodgers the rest of the year. But here's what they do see coming up. Right after this homestand, this is a 9-game homestand. After this 9-game homestand, they begin perhaps their toughest stretch left. And it is. Because they end the season against Philadelphia and the Mets at home, and don't worry about that. But anyway, that 10-game road trip that's coming up, okay, after this homestand, after this 9-game homestand, they play the bookend games. They play 3 in San Francisco at the beginning and 3 at San Diego at the end. You don't have to worry about that in between. San Francisco definitely in the playoffs, best record in baseball. They've had that for most of this season. At the end, San Diego, likely a playoff contender. So if the Braves want to show that they can do something in the playoffs, those are going to have to be the games where we're going to have to see, no Eddie Rosario mistakes, the ability to win 1-run games, the ability just to win in a clutch period. I mean, granted that neither San Francisco or San Diego on the road, neither of those places have Dodger dogs. Neither of those places has the San Gabriel Mountains in the background. But if they can handle those teams and look like a playoff team, when it comes to the Dodgers, maybe they might have a shot. I don't know. Probably not. But maybe, we can hope.
This is my falsetto, wicked potion with the slow pour. This is my addiction, make me wanna go for more. Pale